Thanks for checking out the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to see me play your deck, hang out with me in the amazing BoshNRoll community in Discord, access to my lists and sideboard guides before tournaments, book an individual coaching session, or just generally want to support what's going on here, check out the Patreon and YouTube membership options. For the finest Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, use code BoshNRoll for 10% off your order at coalesceapparel.shop. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. If you want to play what I'm playing, use my affiliate link to support the channel while you shop for cards at tcgplayer.com and play any deck anytime on Magic Online with a cardhoarder.com loan account. Thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today, at the request of Patreon subscriber Ryan, I am playing Legacy. I'm back from Magic 30. I don't need to test Modern anymore. Thank you all for going on that heavier than normal Modern run with me, but Legacy's back in action here. And we're starting off with kind of a heater. This is a deck based around one of the cards that I've enjoyed most on the channel. Of all the brews, all the nonsense that I've done over these last several years, over 600 videos at this point, I think, Tanglewire, every time I get to play it, just comes up as a complete joy for me and complete misery for my opponent. The old 3 mana, 3-time walks. Let's go. For 3 mana, at the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player taps an untapped artifact, creature, or land they control for each fade counter on Tanglewire. And it starts with fading 4. For 3 mana, they have to tap 4 things. Then on your turn, you fade it down, then tap 3 things, including the Tanglewire itself. So basically 2 things. Then they have to tap 3. Then you tap 2, which is basically 1, etc. It's always asymmetrical because you have the Tanglewire itself, which doesn't care if it's tapped or not. And you get the first fade. Ryan has put together a deck that, with Goblin Welder and Goblin Engineer, can just Tanglewire again and again and again. And as they fade down, flip them out for new ones. If they die, replace them with different artifacts. Really cool synergy here. Trying to keep opponents from ever having any untapped permanents. Mono red artifacts is not a stranger to Legacy because Painter is a deck that exists. Mono red 3-drop Prison is not a stranger to Legacy because Red Prison exists. And this one's trying to kind of be both. We don't have a combo kill like Painter, and we don't have Chrome Mox like Prison or Blood Moon. So we're kind of, by Ryan's own admission, worse than both of those decks in that kind of way. But we're doing something fun and unique, which is tangling up. We also have Karn Silex in the deck. This is a newer card that I haven't gotten to play on the channel yet. 3 mana, enters the battlefield tapped. Players can't pay life or to cast spells or activate abilities that aren't mana abilities. Primarily fetch lands is the hit with this. You can't pay your 1 life to search for your land. Force of Will is another big culprit in Legacy. You can't pay life to cast spells. And there is a Pernicious Deed style effect at the bottom here. X tap, exile this, destroy each non-land permanent with mana value X or less, activate only as a sorcery. The situation would have to be pretty dire to use the third ability, which is kind of a strike against including this card, but I do want to try it because my deck is full of 0 mana permanents, all the constructs I'm going to make, 1 mana permanents, my Goblin Welder, 0 mana permanent, Chalice of the Void, etc. It would have to be a pretty dire situation for us to want to pop a Karn Silex on the third ability. But we do have that text if we want it. Speaking of Chalice, we are a Chalice deck, which is a little awkward with being a deck built around a 1-drop. I've included 2 Cavern of Souls. If you name Artificer, you can cast Welder, Engineer, and Brea's Apprentice. The only creature you can't cast off Cavern on Artificer is Ruin Grinder, which is not really in the deck to be cast anyway. You can Mountain Cycle for it to fix your mana and then reanimate it with Goblin Welder, and then you just have a big ol' 7/4 Wheel of Fortune in play. We are, of course, a Karn deck, the great creator. There's also a Karn Scion here. Pooping out constructs to win the game quickly is how we actually close. We're pretty good at making sure nobody has any resources, but we got to actually win the game somehow. The 4 Urza Saga and the Karn Scion can provide real attackers. And I made sure to include 2 Fable the Mirror Breaker. This card is just really good on rate. It makes artifacts with the treasures. It does graveyard synergy stuff with the discard 2, draw 2. And if you ever flip it, you get more Goblin Welders. No complaints there. There are a couple points of tension in this deck that I just want to acknowledge because I know you're all going to see it too. Chalice of the Void in a deck with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 1-drops. Tough sell. I talked about the Cavern already. That can help mitigate some of it. Or Lotus Petal in a deck with Trinisphere. That's tough as well, but the artifact synergies with the Construct Power and Toughness, the Welder moving things in and out of play, I think that's worth the risk over 4 Simian Spirit Guides instead. I'm on 4-1 with Lotus Petal Spirit Guide rather than going the other way. Unfortunately, can't play Blood Moon or Blood Sun because Urza Saga just dies with those permanents in play. I actually think Blood Sun is probably a better Karn Silex than Karn Silex is for this deck, except for the fact that we have Urza Saga and we gotta play to our actual win con that we put in the deck. Little bit of friendly fire here, but overall, I think it's fine. Let's go do this thing. This is Ryan's Welder Prison. I'm on the play in round 1, and this hand has turn 2 Karn or turn 2 Ruin Grinder, both of which are pretty cool. I'm going to keep. I'm not doing much to Prison, unless we count Karn in that equation. Anyway, here's my Goblin Welder, and here's Lotus Petal. And let's send it over, and hope my opponent doesn't have a removal spell. Island Delver, okay. Well, we're going to have Ruin Grinder in play. Oh, what's up? Oh, that's so disappointing. But it's probably worth getting into play. Okay, we've resolved a Chalice of the Void versus Delver. I'll take that as a W for now. I can't cycle Ruin Grinder because if I do, then Chalice is my only artifact left. And I want that one. Uh-oh, Wasteland. We're in the weirdo zone now. They probably attack. I would, yeah. Certainly not blocking. All right, we need a mana source to get this Ruin Grinder going. Too easy. Let's cycle the Grinder. Grab this mountain, and I'm just going to pass the turn. See if they want to attack with an on-flip Delver again. Come at me. I guess I shouldn't have main phased the cycle. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. I would have eaten this Delver for sure. I just got so excited I drew the land that I can jam my card into play. Or onto the stack, wherever it went. Alright, now we get to attack with our 7-4 Wheel of Fortune for a while. It has Menace too. Wow. What a card. And I'm going to keep shoving spells on the stack. They've all resolved so far, and the game continues, it seems. What do I want to get here? I can't get any of the ones because I have my Chalice in play, per our discussion about how this deck kind of steps on itself. It's probably just liquid metal coating. It's always liquid metal coating. I could also weld Ruin Grinder into Lotus Petal and Wheel of Fortune, but I think I'd rather attack for 7. Yeah! Smearing Delver, game 1. Let's go. I think I like Big Chandra, all the Pyroblasts, Hidden Needle. I can name Wasteland with that, but mostly don't care. Karn Silex is tricky here. Like, I do want an ability to sweep up the board, but it's going to hurt me more than it hurts them. I'm cutting the Silexes. Trinisphere and Chalice are enough prison against this deck, though Silex is incredibly potent. I think Shadow Spear should be in the deck against them too. Maybe Big Chandra is too much. Just 6 mana for that effect. Just load up my deck with 1-drops and count on them to counter or remove my Chalice. Sounds like a plan. Do I have room for a Braid? Just more removal in the deck. The Meek Stone is also mostly for this matchup, or this type of matchup. I get hit once, but then their creatures don't untap. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to leave it in the cardboard or put it in the deck for the Saga package. I'll leave that on the Karn board, because if I'm ahead, that actually stops me from winning too. I'm just going to stop like this. Alright, got the Cavern, got the Ruin Grinder. I did think about putting a Sundering Titan or some big Reanimator object in the graveyard for when you have the Reanimator curve. We have Worm Coil Engine, which isn't quite what I'm talking about, but okay. Show me your Lightning Bolt. I'm not going to hang the Cavern Outwork. You get Wastelanded. The little Unholy Heat. It's fine. We had to work through that eventually. Rainstorm. I'd love to Pyroblast that. Alas. Found Misty Rainforest, cracking immediately. And played a card that I cannot Pyroblast. Perfect. Ancient Tomb, what's up? Right, Cavern on Artificer. Probably just going to go for Tangle Wire and get the party started. Breya's Apprentice does make a flying blocker and loop really well with Welder. Yeah, this is close between Tangle Wire and Breya's Apprentice. I actually think I want the Apprentice. Hydroblast. Okay. That will destroy my creature. It's true. Opponent still only has lands and instants in the graveyard. And they have a Wasteland. That's alright. We've got a line to 4 mana here. I'm going to play Ancient Tomb. And I think I just want to pass the turn. Hold up Pyroblast for the turn cycle and cycle Ruin Grinder. I could have put Retrofitter in play and activated it. My opponent's getting low on resources over there. It's also a big Murktide turn. I'll counter target blue spell. Murktide's gone. And then cycle. I really like Ruin Grinder. I think I've played with that card once before on the channel, and it never really did anything. I'm excited that it's delivering this time. Speaking of delivering, Urza, Saga, and Karn working together here to start putting pressure on my opponent. If DRC gets active, Karn goes in the trash. Can't just grab Worm Coil here. I could grab Silex, though that steps on my Urza Saga that I was just excited to draw. Also just plus Karn, hang out. I think plussing Karn makes sense to me. Just plus target nothing, make it bigger, and pass. Meltdown is going to be one of the most potent cards against this deck all the time, and I don't need to go harder into Meltdown. Let's see if they even look at Karn or just keep working on my life total. Yeah, taking a swing at Karn. I like it. And no play, so they have a handful of reactive cards. The worst of which is Meltdown. I could wish for and play Silex right now. I could wish for Coding and start poking their lands, but that puts Karn into bolt range. Yeah, I think I'm just going to keep plussing Karn and making headway with my Saga. And I'm not going to play Retrofitter. It would cost me 2 life to get it into play. And I'm trying to mitigate Meltdown anyway. And I can't get it into play and make a servo right away. And make a construct. Can't do all of the above. I think the board state where they're just poking Karn for 1 and Karn's going up for 1 while I make land drops and they don't favors me. I'm okay just living in this world for a little while. That was their draw for the turn. It would have been in play if they hadn't any sooner. Let's see if my construct eats a lightning bolt immediately. I'm just going to go all the way in here. Last chance to lightning bolt right now. No lightning bolt. Cool. I'm going to get Shadow Spear. And my mountain. Equip Shadow Spear. There's 2 creatures now. Is it time to do something different with Karn? I still don't think so. Getting Tormod's Crypt would keep them off Delirium for a while, and no, I'm just going to plus Karn on nothing, continue that streak, and attack for 5 lifelink. I fully expect Meltdown this turn, and then I'm ready to reload with Breya's Apprentice and Retrofitter and Karn activation. Delver didn't flip. There's the land that they drew that didn't flip it. 3 cards in hand. What are they? Wow, they just passed the turn. No Meltdown. What's going on over there? They're really just ice cold. Nothing going on. I'm going to play Breya's Apprentice. This is 2 artifacts. I immediately get the 2 life back off lifelink that I get for tapping Ancient Tomb. Are they just on Hydroblast and Force of Wills? Just trying to figure out what's even in their hand. What could it be? They were tapped out of a Braid last turn. Could be a Braid. Brazen Borrower. Force of Will, pitching Force of Will. Okay. Nasty business over there. That puts a 3rd card type in the graveyard. I'm going to play Ancient Tomb and Retrofitter Foundry. And I am going to use Karn to get Tormod's Crypt here. Tormod's Crypt. All of these things make my attack bigger while keeping their options smaller. If their last card is a Braid or Brazen Borrower, this could go sideways. I'd be really impressed if they sandbagged a Meltdown. Alright, a Braid it is. Killing a Daze. I lose that construct. Still coming in with a 5/5. Do I want to make it a 6/6 at the cost of 2 life? I'm at 15. Let's go. That's half their life total. Let's take it. All right. Let's see if Delver flips, and then I can make a decision on Tormod's Crypt. If Delver doesn't flip, there's a chance that they drew Murktide Regent. Oh, Expressive Iteration. That's a good one. I don't need to respond to that one, though. In fact, it's better to let it resolve, because then they'll be delirious briefly, and then I can take their graveyard out. Very much like to avoid Meltdown off this EI. And they can't go land Murktide without passing priority because they have a fetch land in play. We got the GGs. They must not like what they see. And we got the W. They said some nice things about my channel as well in the chat. I appreciate you, opponent. GGs. Beating Delver off the first round of the league always feels good. Great start to the video. Let's keep rolling.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and every other format you'll see on this channel. They have multiple customizations so you can view your deck how you want. Text view, stacks, grid, custom grouping by type, subtype, color, light mode, dark mode. However you want to see your deck, they can provide it for you. My favorite feature is you can choose your set printing, make the deck look exactly how you want it to. The deck screen features expandable sections that show you what tokens your deck makes, your recent change history to the deck, stats about mana curve and opening hand distribution, mana cost distribution. You can deal out sample hands and even play test the deck. Island Ponder. You know I'm keeping this one. This site has everything. Follow me on Moxfield.com to keep up with decks I'm playing for the channel and what I'm up to in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the draw in round 2 with a bit of a clunker. I have turn 2 Engineer, turn 3 Karn. Sorry, Karn. I said 4 Karns. To start ramming Karn on the stack. I'm going to keep this. Obviously, it's not really ideal, but the power level is there. Ooh. Please play Trinisphere. Oh, yikes. So we're dead. Okay. We're not necessarily dead. I could put an Engineer, Entomb, Tanglewire, and be alive for a while. Tanglewire is the play, right? Yeah, I think so. It's going to cost me my land. Yeah, let's hope they don't go a second round here. Oh, there's more. Just putting permanents into play. All right, another Great Furnace keeps the party going for a little while here. Okay. They have to tap 3 permanents this turn, or, well, all the ones they have, technically 4, but they only have 3. If they can play any permanent this turn, they can connect with Grizzlebrand next turn. Oh, they paid the 7 life again. They're at 4. And got a Ponder on the stack with a 4th permanent. Underground Sea is really interesting. Wonder if this is some Show and Tell Reanimator hybrid deck. Normally Show and Tell decks don't play black mana. Right, they just shuffled away an Emrakul, taking their whole graveyard with it. I have to tap my permanents now. Oh. Is that helpful? Maybe last turn. Certainly not now. Well, I guess I'm not using my mana for anything else. Might as well needle the Grizzle. Okay. There you go. They have to tap their 3 mana producing permanents, then they can attack for 7. Alright, we are Grixis over here. We gotta beat a 7/7 lifelink and 7 cards in hand now. Now we get to do the cheaty thing where Tanglewire fades to 2, and then we just tap a bunch of artifacts with static effects, so we're not actually under Tanglewire anymore. Now the decision, do I ram Karn into play? Or onto the stack at least? I guess I do. Because what else is going to happen this game? Fully expect counter magic from my opponent. Brainstorm in response. Oh, we're in there. Lotus Petals turned off. Gonna make a wish. And I'm gonna get Meek Stone. And then attack for 1. Send that message. And they're drawing through their Brainstorm cards. They have to tap 2 permanents. They're gonna tap the Lotus Petal and one of their lands. Wow, bad lands. All the way Grixis. Ooh, they are respecting Karn. I like that. Just any effort they spend not dealing damage to me is good. Sneak attack. Okay. There is another Pithing Needle in the deck. Oh, Grief Pitching Archon of Cruelty. Yeah, there's some sort of reanimator pile. They took the Meek Stone, which is actually perfect because I can just weld that back in. I don't even care. Tapping my Tangle Wire. Float 2. Probably shouldn't have played that land. Whoops. Might need that next turn. Goblin Welder get into play, and Meek Stone come into play. Yep, not gonna lie, I forgot about City of Traders. I don't think it changes my play, but now I can't really follow up with Karn. If they just activate Sneak Attack with a monster, it doesn't matter anyway. Alright. You got me. That was pretty good considering they resolved Show and Tell on turn 1 on the play. Not bad. I want all my needles available. Karn Silex, that turns off Force of Will and the fetch lands. They do seem to be a 3-color deck. Trinisphere, a little awkward. I feel like I need my velocity more than they do. Like they're killing me with 3 and 4 mana spells. I understand they're a cantrip deck too, but I have Chalice for that half. I think I still want my Graveyard Hate in the deck, and I definitely want my Pyroblast. Yep, Karn Silex turns off Grizzlebrand as well. I feel like Karn Scion is the last card in this pile that I don't want in my deck necessarily. It's either Karn Scion or Soul Guide Lantern, and hope that they're not actually any graveyard deck. We saw a lot of cards without any graveyard stuff. It could be a pivot. It could just not be a thing. They could just be Grixis Reanimator for some reason. We saw Grief. Yeah, I think they are graveyard deck. Okay. I'm going in like this. This is a quick Tangle Wire. I'll keep it. I'm going to play Land and Petal. They jam Show and Tell. Again, I can tangle it. Oh, Welder, thanks for showing up right on time. I'm going to stick with the plan of Urza Saga plus Tangle Wire. If Wire resolves, it's going to stuff half of my Saga, or 1/3 of my Saga. There's one construct I don't get, but it's going to lock them down for several turns. Worth it. If I draw a red source, I can get Goblin Welder into play and then activate Saga one time on the way out. Ancient Tomb. That's better than City. I will put that into play. Not a red source, but it's cool. I'm enjoying my 3 time walks. Next turn, I'll have to tap 2 cards. So I'll make a construct in the upkeep, tap the construct in the Tangle Wire, and then I'll untap with a red source for Goblin Welder. Lotus Petal. Okay. Uh-oh. We've been pivoted. Fable. That's a good card that I also have in my deck. You can't tap enchantments for Tangle Wire, so I don't have to worry about that. The creature is a good one, though. Another Saga. That's pretty cool. I could Pithing Needle here and just get the Scalding Tarn, knock it out of play forever. They're kind of at a point where they have enough mana that may not or may not matter. I could Pithing Needle Sneak Attack, start checking boxes. I'm going to do that. Pithing Needle Sneak Attack. And play... I'm going to play my land first, in case they're a Daze deck. And then play Goblin Welder. Okay, here we go. Gotta beat this Fable the Mirror Breaker. Tangle Wire is good for 2 cards this turn. They tap their 2 colored producing lands. Discarded Island to Fable. Uh-oh. If they Show and Tell here, I don't have anything good to put into play. Yeah, uh-oh. Put in City of Traders. Oh, Fury. Yeah, that kills all my creatures. Yep. Not enough counters on my Saga to get out of reach of that. deck is very cool. I don't like that it's beating me. That's not cool. But the deck itself is very cool. I'll tap Tangle Wire to itself and hope to draw a good card. Oh, another Tangle Wire. What do I even do here? I think I'm just getting smeared by the Sphere plan, and there's not really a way out of it. This is a matchup in a spot where an Ensnaring Bridge in the sideboard would be great, but this deck's not great at getting its hand empty in general. I could Karn for coding, and then, I mean, that does turn off some amount of stuff. It turns off their treasures, getting Karn into play. I'm going to have to use both Karns to make this happen, though. This Fury has double strike. I'll get Liquid Metal Coating. Play that. I'll let them tap for Tangle Wire, and then I'll... Oh, they'll tap their treasure, I'm sure. And then I'm going to Coating a land. Not that it matters, because Karn will die in combat, and then it unlocks their land. This is a board I would happily Karn Silex on. If I draw a mana source, it can put Karn into play. Okay, I actually have kind of a lot of mana right now. Oh no, they're tapping. No! Alright. I guess we're playing it out, but... Have they seen my hand this game? I don't think so, but I was holding 2 Karns. That's, in fact, why I kept the hand. I don't think there's anything else I can do here. But I'm going to make a construct, search my deck, and then figure it out. But they're going to start copying Furies. I can Pithing Needle Reflection of Kiki. Pithing Needle on Reflection of Kiki Jiki. Got that going on for me. Throw my City of Traders in the trash. Okay, I mean, I have the biggest creature in play now. And they're under Tangle Wire. If they attack with Fury, I can make one of my lands into an artifact, and Construct survives that attack. Let's hope they don't see that. They have 1 card left in hand. Just attack me with Fury. Yeah! Snap off this block. And turn Ancient Tomb into an artifact. Pull 7/7. What do you think about that? Moral victory. Okay, time to figure out how to stack all these triggers, because I want to tap the Tangle Wire on 0 before it dies. So I put that fading at the bottom, and I put the relevant fading at the top. Tap 3 things. 1, 2, 3. And then the first Tangle Wire dies. Now it's time to draw out of this. That's pretty good. Engineer, get him. Search my deck for... I think it's Breya's Apprentice. This one can't get Ruin Grinder. Karn Silex I don't think is the solution. Yeah, I'm going to get an Apprentice. And I am now ahead on board. My life total dwindling. Can't quite attack yet. Maybe next turn. Tangle Wire will tap Pithing Needle and Tangle Wire. Another Engineer. As much as I would like having 2 of those in play, I think I'd like to spend this turn getting Breya's Apprentice happening. This is a 2/3. That's big enough to tangle. We get them Tangle Wiring. They played a Scalding Tarn. They're kind of bricking off here, which is what I need. End of turn, I'm going to turn Breya's Apprentice into Tangle Wire. And Apprentice is in. Construct's a 6/6. Saga off the top. Don't mind if I do. Here comes the attack for 6. We got a chump block team. We're clearing the board. That means I can weld the Pithing Needle on Reflection into a good card. I was probably supposed to attack for 1 with the... Alright, whatever. Does Tangle Wire matter anymore? Probably less than I wanted to. I could spend this turn playing another Goblin Engineer. That makes sense. There's nothing good to reanimate right now. Let's just keep the engine running. Another Apprentice. Just keep that happening. Yeah, I'll just keep the Apprentices running. They're spending mana from treasures. Are we just hard casting an Archon here? Uh-oh, or is it Meltdown? That's even worse. Yeah, Meltdown for 2. I have multiple 3 mana, or I guess I have 1 3 mana artifact in play. I'm going to turn their Goblin into an artifact so it dies too. So if they have been sandbagging sneak attack, this isn't going to matter. The end of your next turn, you may play that card. All right. And I'm going to sacrifice Thopter to exile City of Traders, and I can play that till the end of my next turn. All right, let's see if sneak attack is coming immediately. Yeah, they just didn't pay enough for Brea's Apprentice. Tanglewire. The usual, my best friend Tanglewire, who is now suddenly relevant, and they're scooping it up. Yeah, I think we got a little bit of a shame concede there because they just didn't tap enough mana. But hell yeah. Okay. Took one there. The Fury half of the deck, Fury Fable. Does that mean I want a Braid? Oh no, this is a wild deck. I kind of like it. I still like Silex, especially now knowing that they have a fair plan. Could cut a red Elemental Blast for an Abrade, because the things that I'd like to Abrade, I can't red Elemental Blast. Did I see any cantrips, like a single Ponder or Brainstorm? I don't think that happened. Maybe I'm not supposed to Chalice in this matchup? Is that possible? Right, I'm going to cut one Chalice for another Abrade and go in this way. Oh, there's Silex. I could even turn one it if I want to. They kept 7. Terrifying. Wow, I can turn one Silex and still activate Urza Saga next turn. Okay, Silex or Saga. Okay, here's Karn Silex. I could have played around Daze, instead I chose to play around Meltdown. They fetched in a response and I got my Silex. And I'll send the turn. Let's see if this card is good. Oh no. Oh, they didn't do anything. Cool. Oh, that was nice. Ancient Tomb, Lotus Petal. Now I don't need to sack the Lotus Petal to do construct business. Raiding my Silex in the end step. What a cop. Oh, Brainstorm is in the deck. I don't know if we've seen one in the first 2 games. I just assume that it's in there. Though that Silex being in play for the turn did get them to lead on City of Traders, which is now going to be awkward. All right, let's go in on the construct situation. No Welding Jar in my deck. I'm going to get Pithing Needle and name Sneak Attack. All of this is just ramming into Meltdown, but not a damn thing I can do about it. I can kind of tangle with Grizzlebrand on with my 7/4 Menace if they go for Show and Tell here. Uh-oh. 6 mana, double red. Is this Big Chandra? It's just Hardcast Fury. Okay, that's fine. Remember that Abrade I brought into my deck for exactly this purpose? We're in there. I'm not going to Abrade now because that cost me my Lotus Petal. I can just go to my turn and play a land. Like that one. Good land. 3 damage to target creature. And continue the beats. And I can actually cast Ruin Grinder next turn. I'm not going to cycle it. I'm going to keep it in my hand. Both as a show and tell target and as a thick monster. All right, there's Sneak Attack that's turned off. Yeah! 2-0. We beat the show and tell Sneak Attack deck with Meltdown in it. Little prison action for your face. Let's keep going.
You come here to level up at Magic. To level up as a software engineer, check out the new YouTube series Dev Better, hosted by the founder of 7 Factor Software and Magic player, Jeremy Duvall. 7 Factor's small teams of high-performing engineers build custom mobile apps, APIs, and highly scalable systems for Fortune 500 companies and ambitious startups with great ideas. If you'd like to hire 7 Factor, or maybe join their team, contact them through their website at 7factor.io. And don't forget to subscribe to 7 Factor's YouTube for every episode of Dev Better.
I'm on the play against Nevilleshoot, who is a known Doomsday player. I'd like to play first. This hand does Karn quickly. I could turn one Fable. Is that even good? If I turn one Fable, then I can still turn 2 Karn with the treasure token. I'm going to keep this. Neville juked me last time. I was like, oh, this is Nevilleshoot. They always play Doomsday. And then it was like, surprise. Red Prison or some like complete bullshit. I'm going for the Fable on turn 1. And I'm sure my opponent is pumping the fist that this is not Blood Moon or Trinisphere. Unless they are in Red Prison, in which case they're like, oh shit, this was the one card I actually do care about. Blue deck confirmed. I'm going to discard this Pithing Needle. I don't think it's going to help me. And I don't think I'm going to need 2 cards this game. Or I could discard the Brea's Apprentice and start... Yeah, I'm going to do that because that's in the deck specifically for Welder synergies anyway. Attack, get my token. I'm going to float 2 and then play Ancient Tomb and then Chalice on 1. Chalice, I am confident, is going to mess with this deck no matter what. Where I'm not sure Karn would. Alright, we are on Doomsday today. And a little Baleful Strix. We got the fair Doomsday. Well, there are no fair Doomsdays, so we got the slow Doomsday, the mid-range Doomsday. Cavern on Artificer. I'm going to play Lotus Petal so I don't get dazed. And then play Karn the Great Creator. And we're in there. I think I'm just going to reach for my Coating. I'm just going to grab my Coating. And I could coat now if I give up my Goblin. Trade Goblin for Strix, get a treasure, jam Coating, but then that turns days back on, and I can just flex with Reflection of Kiki Jiki next turn. Opponent could just go land Doomsday at this point, but without artifacts, and you're going to start losing lands, that pie would be really wonky. But you can't play Doomsday with that card. You can play Teferi with that card. All right, resetting my Fable. Don't mind if I do. And putting damage on Karn. Sure. Putting the damage on Karn lets me attack and kill Teferi with my Goblin token, which gets me the treasure for free. Probably would have attacked anyway to clear the Strix. But now that I don't have to, it's even better. Okay, Liquid Metal Coating on the stack. Do you have Force of Will? You do not. I'm going to start blowing up lands here. Destroy the black sources. And then play Urza Saga. And I am going to cast my Fable again. This is a delight. This game is just everything I want in life when I'm playing a deck like this. Yeah! Feeling good. Okay. This might not be a Doomsday deck. The Tundra is a little sus. Like, this could easily be just a mid-range Doomsday deck. It's probably going to pivot onto Monastery Mentor or Stoneforge Mystic in the sideboard. That's usually what the white Doomsday decks do. Also, good chance it's just not even a Doomsday deck, and they're just a fair blue deck anyway. I think I want my Abrades. Tanglewire is going to be great. Trinisphere, variable. Chalice is great. I don't think I want Soul Guide Lantern. I don't want Pithing Needle. And Pyroblast might be a safer get than a Braid if I'm going to start somewhere. Karn Silex I'll put in the maybe pile. Yeah, Doomsday doesn't pay half your life as a cost. As it resolves, you lose half your life, which is a different thing. So Karn Silex does not stop Doomsday. Yeah, I'm going to expect a Juke and bring in my Abrades, and I'll bring in a Pyroblast because this is going to be a blue deck no matter what. I could bring in a big Chandra over the Silexes. Could do 1-in-1, or I could just be off Silex. Yeah, on the draw, I think that card's a lot worse. Oh, I just received my monthly rewards. Thanks, Magic Online. Right in the middle of sideboarding. Okay. Cool. All right, I'm doing big Chandra. I'm going to plan for a longer game. If I just get Dark Ritual Doomsdayed, you got me. I will keep this hand a little slow, but I like everything it's doing. Oh yeah, here we go. Sure. Good shit. I'm going to Chalice on 0 on my turn, because turn 1 Doomsday piles either try to win with zero mana, like Lion's Eye Diamond Lotus Petal, or they spend several turns to develop, and I can Chalice on 0 to slow them down at least 1 turn, and then Tanglewire to slow them down a lot of turns. If they just have Force backup, it's not going to matter. I'm not going to have time to get this Ruin Grinder into play and then kill it, because that does actually beat a Doomsday player. Or, this is optional, isn't it? Each player may discard the hand and draw 7. Okay, never mind. You cannot force a decking on Doomsday with Ruin Grinder. Stupid modern era cards with their optional effects. In my day, everything was symmetrical, whether you like it or not. A Monastery Mentor is the Juke Mentor. Mishra's Baubles in play. Oh, this Chalice on 0 would have been so good. Sheoldred as well. We've got 2 Sheoldreds, 2 Mentors. They are a white deck. Okay. I'm going to Chalice on 0. Try to buy myself a turn here. Oh, Karn Silex would have done it. Do I want Saga in play? Probably not. They can fetch to 2 cards in their deck, draw to 1 card in deck. A Braid does keep me alive here, and if this Tangle Wire resolves somehow, we're just cooking. I can play around Days, that's good. Tangle Wire. If I can get a couple of Time Walks right now, they're actually going to be decked before they could cast a spell. Oh, I had the Force. That's cheating. Okay, now I'm dead. Now they just draw a fetch and deck's empty. Tangle Wire would have won the game, though, if it resolved. Pyroblast. JK don't have it. Oh, and you're uncounterable. Yep, they made a nice slow pile that Mishra's Bauble got in under my Chalice. GG. All right, now we get game 3 on the play. We've seen Sheoldred and Mentor in the deck now. Do I want Pyroblast for the setup phase of the game? Because if they just do some Dark Ritual Doomsday shit, that's not going to matter. Shadowspear, Piddling Needle, none of those matter. Meekstone can keep Sheoldred from attacking, but her being in play at all is bad for me. Yeah, all my lock pieces are in, except for Silex. Do I think that's better than Pyroblast? Maybe Retrofitter Foundry is a little silly here. All of my lock pieces are better than Silex, though. I think I want to be in the kind of Pyroblast part of things here. Okay. Doing this. Turn 1 Chalice. I will keep. I'm going to play it off City and use Lotus Petal. I was about to say to play around Days, which is not a card they can have right now. Chalice is in. Bauble, okay. Tangle Wire. I want to play Fable. Yeah, Fable, if I get the Goblin going, then Tangle Wire becomes completely insane. And my hand is pretty mana light right now. Oh, this is such a good Force of Will. Force Pitching Predict. Okay, now I'm going to have to draw some mana. Mana Source, Ancient Tomb. I mean, that is mana, but I'm going to leave my stuff untapped this turn. I didn't see an opposition agent last game. Wow, would that be a blowout, though? Okay, don't opposition agent me. I could have played around it, but I did not. Okay, didn't oppo me. Got my land. Come on, mana. Yeah, I guess using Lotus Petal to Mountain Cycle sets me back. Like, now it gets me a land for the long game, but shuts me down in the short game. Oh, God. 4th mana, they're starting to make moves. They could just Sheoldred here. That is not worse than Sheoldred. That one's fine, relatively speaking. Red Blast. Normally exciting, but I'm going to name Artificer. Stupid Teferi. Cramping my style here. Yeah, I kind of hope they do counter this, because then my Red Blast is off. Guess I'm supposed to Red Blast Teferi first. Whoops. Yeah, in my brain, I was like, I will simply destroy Teferi after Chalice resolves. Nope. Not how that works. Luckily, I don't care about Teferi that much as a deck. I mean, they do have prismatic endings. They're hitting so many land drops. Alright, now I'm dead. They draw for Bauble and gain 2 life, and then I draw. Okay, I hit one of the cards that might matter. I could get Karn into play. By Tangle, I'm way behind. I'm just dying to this 4/4. I'm going to cast Karn. All the cards I'd want to wish for are 1-drops. Oh no, deck, you're failing me. I can get Wormcoil Engine and then lose to Teferi. Yeah, I'd be excited about this Wormcoil if I had destroyed Teferi the way I'm supposed to. They could also just Doomsday kill me at any point here. They got the Teferi protection, got plenty of mana to make it happen. They can hardcast Force of Will right now. I'm gonna Tangle Wire, and then my Cavern Tech coming in strong. Goblin Welder, get in. They're fetching in the end step. Is there a spell, or are we just getting cards out of the way? Old end step Doomsday. You love to see it. To Fairy Time Raveler, folks. Yeah, I very obviously messed this game up of just forgetting that I can't Red Blast. So they have to tap four cards in the upkeep. That may or may not affect anything. They also have Prismatic Ending in the end step. Yeah, this game made possible by the Teferi that I let be in play for no reason. Tap 4 permanents. And then kill me. And they can draw a card with Teferi. If they even need to. If they do that, it unlocks Red Blast. Oh, and they know they're safe to just play a Thoracle for 3 because I can't react. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I messed that game up. Their build of Doomsday is also really good against what I'm trying to do here. Just really a lot of respect for Prison, but also just, you know, enjoy that Teferi for the entire game where it was relevant multiple times. Okay. Punt counter up 1. Let's go to the next round.
We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league.
I'm on the draw in round 4 with a turn 1 Karn Silex or Tanglewire or Goblin. I'm going to keep an Arid Mesa. Who puts that card in their deck? Oh, Reanimator. Cool. Oh, this is not Reanimator. It might still be Reanimator. Torch Courier. This is not a card I've seen in Legacy ever. Sacrifice Torch Courier. Another target creature gains haste until end of turn. Okay. You got it. I think I'm going to Silex here. And then I can Tanglewire on the following turn. Yeah, Silex doesn't mess me up. Where Tanglewire is going to be the last spell I play this game. Just hope their hand is full of fetch lands, and I can't even hope for Grizzlebrands because it has haste. This is probably some version of Tin Fins. Just trying to imagine why this card would be in a deck. And I can imagine lots of reasons. There's lots of big, cool creatures you can put into play and give haste to, but specifically, what is this opponent up to with it? Yeah! Checkmate. We'll never know if they just don't have another land to play or they didn't realize this is how this works. Oh no, we're getting muxed. Okay, I can see why you would do this now. Alright, card Silex, sweeper mode might come up here. Gotta hope this isn't Muxus, I guess. Krenko. Krenko's not good for me either. How do I win this game? And they can tap Krenko to make 2 goblins and then tap 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, Krenko just completely ducks. I could just Silex for 4 right now. Is spending a turn developing worth doing? Like I could put Karn into play. Oh, I really don't want to get hit with Lackey again. Goblin Engineer can block Lackey though. And entomb something. And then next turn flip that something and activate Silex. Oh, but I can't bring back the things I want to bring back with Goblin Engineer. I would want to get Ruin Grinder so it can survive the Silex. But everything that would die to Krenko also dies to... Okay. Yeah, that's not ideal. Okay, I guess it's time to break my Silex for 4. It unlocks their mana, but we did just get away with something there. If that was Muxus, we're just dead. And next turn I can Tanglewire plus Engineer, or I could Karn plus 1 drop. Ooh, no play at all. Thank you, Pernicious Deed. Ooh, now I could get a 2-drop with Karn. I think I want to just Tangle up and put Engineer into play, though on an empty board against a non-blue deck, Karn tends to be pretty good. Okay, I'm going to put Karn on the stack. All right, we're in there. Great Furnace, lose my city. Karn, I'm just going to get the normal thing that you get, the coding. Okay, here's coding. I'm going to do Rashad and Port mode for a turn and then start destroying all their lands. This is an artifact now. They didn't have a 3-drop last turn, and... Alright, Karn, good job, big buddy. Let's destroy this Badlands for real this time. Badlands being destroyed. Rip the Urza Saga, now we got a real win condition. And I can decide to be the full prison monster and tap. All right, they've conceded. I could be a prison monster and play Tangle Wire and just make sure they never do anything, or I could play Goblin Engineer, where I'm already confident they're not doing anything, and that moves my game plan forward. I think I would have engineered there. Okay, the creature removal comes in, the sweepers and the abrades. I don't think Graveyard Hate's going to matter. Hitting Needle, like Sling Gang Lieutenant, Cranko. There's a non-zero number of things for that. Karn Silex, MVP, Pernicious Deed mode activate. Chalice is okay, unless they have Cavern, which I'm sure their deck plays 4 of. I think I just don't want to mess around with Chalice. And that gives me another slot. We bring in the Shadow Spear in case we get into a race, which is likely, I guess. Okay. This hand, while powerful in poker, is probably not right for this matchup on the draw. I'm gonna mulligan. This one does have turn 1 action. I'm gonna keep it and send... I think I have to send Karn from this hand. As much as I like Karn, I think having the prison element stable first is my goal. If they don't have a 1-drop, I'm just going to Trinisphere. If they do have a 1-drop, I'll put Fable in front of it. Goblin Lackey, okay. Looks like it's Fable time. Ooh, I could save my City of Traders, play Goblin Engineer this turn, and then Tangle Wire next turn. Yeah, that's better. Artificer. That'll... The Goblin Engineer also a 1/2. And I think I want Brea's Apprentice. Just putting more creatures into play is the way. Now they can clear my Engineer and Lackey me, or they can't. Snoop. Uh-oh, you're a Snoop deck. It's slightly concerning. Do I care about Trinisphere? I don't think so. I think I want to get Fable in, and then I'll start... Oh, I can't play Fable with this mana that I have. All right. I guess it's between Trinisphere and... Yep, totally forgot that this isn't really a red source. Tangle Wire and it's Trinisphere. And my mana just got awkward because if I play Saga, I lose City. And this Snoop is just causing trouble over there. Snooping around. Arid Mace on top of the deck. Ringleader in hand. Oh no. So they get to Ringleader next turn. Can attack with Snoop now. Okay, a red land is actually really great. I can 1, 2, 3 play Tangle Wire, and then play Great Furnace, which can turn into Brea's Apprentice if it needs to, which I think it's going to need to between us. They'll probably leave Snoop untapped here and tap everything else because there are cards that can hit off Snoop that just win the game. Ancient Tomb's not one of them. That was good. Their hand right now is Arid Mesa, Ringleader, and Mystery Card. They do get to fetch, shuffle away this Ancient Tomb, take a new look with Snoop. Lackey. Alright, Trinisphere locking that from arriving. Costs 3. Look at you tapping your mountain. Get out of here. Judge. Please attack, please attack, please attack. Okay, they at least know not to attack. Very smart. I'm gonna get Brea's Apprentice off Tangle Wire. Now we're doing the loop thing that the deck is built around that we haven't seen yet, where they're under Tangle Wire and I'm not. Like a full 4-point Tangle Wire the whole time, every time. Urza Saga, get in. Attack for 1 flying. Then second main. Turn Tangle Wire and Thopter. And you tap 4 things. Please and thank you. And then don't put Kiki Jiki on top of your deck. That's the deal. Muxus, okay. Don't care about that one. They've got Lackey, Ringleader, Mystery Card in hand. I do have to get Tangled this turn. As Brea's Apprentice. Wait. Oh wait, that was end step. I can sack Tangle Wire to flip a card. I got a Welder. Cool. That costs 3 though. Probably not interested. I play another Saga. And I guess I'm going to weld Apprentice into Tangle Wire. I should attack first. Okay, then weld Tangle Wire into Apprentice. And I have a Saga token to block now. My own Trinisphere stopping that second welder from coming into play. Tragic, but necessary. And I have to fade Snoop one more time because Urza Saga can get Pithing Needle and name Conspicuous Snoop. Oh, you have a Pithing Needle too. Showing up a little late. Still no attacks possible. Time to make big constructs. I am under Tangle Wire this turn. Make another construct. I gotta tap 3 things. If I tap Trinisphere, it's off. Trinisphere only works when it's untapped. But is that good for me this turn? I think I should probably just tap Engineer and Construct. Or Engineer Land. Not really doing anything with this land. Oh, in that case, it should be Land Engineer then. But if I draw the land, I could just tap the 2 constructs, weld Tangle Wire into Brea's Apprentice. Yeah, I think that's the one. As long as I have a blocker up, it's cool. And I'm going to get Pithing Needle and name Conspicuous Snoop. Because Snoop gains the activated abilities of things on top of the deck. I don't need to like name Kiki Jiki in case that's revealed. That's not how that card works. And I get to weld Tangle Wire into Brea's Apprentice this turn. And then bust with my giant constructs next turn. I've done what I can here. They're tapping their creatures because they're drawing Pithing Needle, and to cast it under Trinisphere, they need all the lands. I'm going to turn Tangle Wire back into Brea's Apprentice in response to this Needle, because that puts almost lethal on board. Is it actually lethal? No, yeah, this puts lethal on board. And they're tapped out under Trinisphere, so GG probably. As I get to tutor with Urza Saga, this is already more than 15, and the constructs will be larger by the time it matters. Yep, naming Goblin Engineer. Way too little, way too late. This was a beautiful Tangle Wire game. I thought we were in a ton of trouble early on. Make a construct on the way out, tutor up another thing on the way out. Omega lethal. Here they come. 1 billion damage. Yeah, okay, 3-1, on to the final round.
For the absolute best Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, check out the link in the video description to coalesceapparel.shop, and be sure to use the code BoshNRoll for 10% off when you check out.
I'm on the play in the final round, and I actually like this hand because Ancient Tomb can Mountain Cycle and gets me Fable. I'm going to keep. And I have turn 2 Saga plus Tangle Wire, which is not a combo because Saga ticks up in your main phase and Tangle Wire taps in your upkeep. So you can't actually curve that out in the way that you'd like to. I'm just going to Ancient Tomb pass, and what my opponent does will dictate whether I want to Fable, Tangle, or Saga. Uh-oh, Artifact Mirror. Please jam Chalice. Please jam Chalice. Chalice on 1. Chalice on 1. Shit, that card's actually really good. Karn's really good, though, too. They hit Pithing Needle. Mox Opal. Okay, we are in the monocolor artifact pseudo mirror. The dual deck. Blue versus red. Urza Saga edition. And they have more permanents in play than Tangle Wire can address. So I'm going to Fable and try to work my way towards this Karn. If I draw fast mana, I'll just play Karn right now. That is not what happened. Okay. It's Fable time. We're in there with a token and pass the turn. Hope that Karn can win this game for me. F6. It's a lot of 0 drops. Getting capped here would be unfortunate. I don't mind Thought Monitor that much. Sigh, kind of a beating. They are down to 2 cards in hand currently, but they can Pithing Needle right now. All right, let's see what level of the Matrix they're in. Do they just name Fable the Mirror, or Backend Reflection of Kiki, or do they name something else? Reflection of Kiki Jiki, okay. They're not in the Matrix, they just live in the Matrix. And they have more than enough attack power to kill my Karn at this point. Yeah, I'm like 1 turn behind this game, which is crazy because I was on the play with an Ancient Tomb and I'm still just behind. Oh, and I got capped. Yeah, we're good. We're good. I've seen enough. Jesus. Yeah, Braid's coming in. Chalice is really good because their deck gets pounded by Chalice on 0, and I don't care about Chalice on any number. They have to board their Chalices out, and I get to keep mine. Karn Silex actually seems insane because we both don't want to get swept. Trinisphere is big. Tangle Wire, they just have more permanence in their deck than I do. I think, unfortunately, that's going to be the cut. Red Blast has a lot of targets. They use their graveyard a little. I don't think enough that I'd want a Soul Guide Lantern, because Karn also beats their graveyard recursion. Because their graveyard, and so does Chalice, because their graveyard recursion is like baubles. I think Needle can hit Saga if I'm ahead on the Saga game. I'd also name Emery. Chandra can sweep up a wide sideboard in the late game. They're much worse against Trinisphere than I am. I think Retrofitter Foundry is too slow. And am I going to Ruin Grind this opponent? I think I can cut a Ruin Grinder. Here we go. Okay, Chalice and some stuff to do. I'm going to keep. They're going to have 8 Force of Wills after board, which is a lot of Force of Wills. In case you haven't been keeping count. Wait. Almost just dipshitted it. Wait, almost did it again. I almost cast Chalice on 1 because I was narrating, and then I almost forgot to play my Lotus Petal before I Chaliced. I think turn 2 Karn is better than turn 1 Breya's Apprentice, as far as using this Lotus Petal goes. And my Chalice just resolved. That was a comedy of errors on turn 1. But we ended up in the right spot. All right. Do you have a force? Bang. All right. Check. Mate. Perfect. Check and mate on turn 2. Good shit. Yeah. That's the cards in my deck overloading their business, where we saw them do the opposite to me in game 1. Okay. Karn and Chalice being giant hammers. Like, my hammers are better than their hammers, but Kappa and Psy are both tough. I think Kappa is the card I'm worried most about. Anyway, now they know what my deck is. Same 60s going back in, but now we're on the draw where everything's harder. I have Chalice again, but no real follow-up. And they get the first swing. Still going to keep this hand. Saying no real follow-up when Urza Saga, I have 2 Urza Sagas in my hand, is kind of inaccurate. All right, they've kept 6. Let's see what kind of blazing start they have. This is a lot of zeros, as we fully expected. Oh, they had to spend a 0 to cast Thoughtcast. I like that. They must have kept his hand on the strength of a force effect, because I'm not impressed by that start. All right, we're in there. And once again, my Lotus Petal is in my hand. I was just so excited to Chalice on 0, thinking about their force. God, that's tough. I'm not a smart man. And now I have to play my Urza Saga, which I can't accelerate because I didn't lead on my Petal. They didn't have a 3-drop. That's cool. No Emery, no Psy. They could have Thoughtcast there, and they didn't. This is where I draw Karn, and I can't cast it because I didn't Lotus Petal. With backup Chalice. That doesn't really matter, though. Like, I can't cast it because it costs 0. It's not like I can put a second copy of Chalice in 0 in play. And I'm not going to Chalice on 1 against this deck that has 0/1 drops. If I could get it up to, like, 3, I don't know. That's just cardboard in my hand right now. And all I can do is pass the turn here. But I have Saga, they don't. They haven't bobbled me, which makes me feel like they have Kappa. Thought Monitor, that's another reason not to pop your bobble. They're on board now, but they had to make their land drop, and Saga is the silent killer here. And there's my Great Furnace, and just continue passing the turn. Still no Karn. I did keep a functional 6 lander, and then draw a card I can't cast and another land in my 2 draw steps. That's all right. Or 2 lands and a card I can't cast. I've had 3 draw steps this game. Okay, they found a Saga. The real race is on. Here's Emery. If it only flips 0s, I don't care. Psy Dismember. It didn't hit an artifact at all. That's good news. They are not interested in attacking with their Thought Monitor. Fascinating.
wonder if that was a misclick, because it's going to be too small to block. There's a Pyroblast that I can cast if I had a red source, which I don't. Needle, I can name Emery. I could name Saga and just lock it down. Or I could get this red source. Really? These are all the tutors in my deck? Wow. Okay. Oh, I know what they're doing. They want to block and then replay with Emery. All right, I'm going to Pithing Needle on Emery. Outsmarted. I play my second Saga. Yeah, they wanted to block and then start drawing extra cards with Emery. Not on my watch. It was not a misclick. It was just a good play. They're blocking anyway. Guess they could Otawara me here. They did not Otawara me. Retrofitter Foundry. Okay, that card's pretty good. And now we get into an old-fashioned Saga fight. I have Pyroblast versus whatever their 3 cards in hand are. And I think it's time to drop a City of Traders. They have only 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I am ahead on artifact count as well. Yeah, I have 6 to their 5. They could go for a double block and get blown out by Pyroblast. All right, this is either a miscount or I'm getting bounced. Okay, or I miscounted it. All right, we actually have the same number of artifacts because of that. Once again, would be easily running away if this Lotus Petal was in play, which it's not. Their Saga here can get Shadow Spear, a card that I did not deign to include in my deck, or Aether Spell Bomb. That would be pretty crushing here. We'll find out together. Yeah, Shadow Spear it is. Okay, I think I'm losing now. I'm going to counter this. That card is just really good. I'm already behind. I can't let them pull ahead on cards and permanent count. Oh no. All right. I spent a turn talking trash about how they miscounted their artifacts, but in fact it was me. And just, haha. Gotcha. Both of us punished by Chalice on Lotus Petal this game. This construct is sleepy though. That gives me a turn to react to it. Oh yeah, the third Saga. I do have Saga advantage, if nothing else. And put Lotus Petal into play, because I'm running out of things to put into play. I'm going to play Saga, lose my city. There are 1-drops in my deck, but if I play this Chalice on 1 right now, it grows my constructs. What 1-drops are in their deck? And they're in play already, the ones I care about. We've seen a Blue Blast. I could draw Red Blast. I'm basically turning off my Red Blast by doing this. But I think having it in play, we're just counting permanents at this point. Okay, here we go. Let's get weird. I have my third Saga though, and they've only had 1. A Retrofitter, very good. A capable magic card, I should say. Another Bauble straight into the graveyard. They've learned nothing. If they attack, I double block. We both lose 1 construct, but I have more coming and they don't. Yeah, they need to be on D here. Ooh, speaking of on D, there's the biggest D you'll ever see. Do I shove this into a Force of Will or develop my Saga? Like, I can Saga, tutor, and then Karn next turn. I think developing Saga is where I want to be here. Like, Ottawar is a thing they could do. They have Retrofitter working, which won't work soon. Okay, they're spending life points to get extra artifacts into play. Probably the right call. Making a 4/4. Okay. Yeah, I guess you can't really go to 2 when you're at 4. They can just gain 11 with an attack, but then they lose their creature that's capable of beating my creatures. You know, I'm ahead here. Yeah, these Thought Monitor attacks, I was just thinking Thought Monitor should probably be poking. And my opponent agrees. In the end step, let's make a construct. Here's my construct. And we go to my turn. Breya's Apprentice. That's a lot of artifacts all at once. And I think there's 1 tutorable left. Oh, there's 2 Lotus Petals left. Okay, cool. I could Cavern on Artificer, shove Breya's Apprentice through right now, and continue dancing around this Karn. I think I like that. Cavern on Artificer. Red, red, red. Prey's Apprentice. Many artifacts. If I attack with all of my 13/13s, they can make their construct 11/11, go to 2, or no, they can't go to 2 on that. They have to lose their construct. Is there a version where they don't lose their construct? Yes. They make a servo, chump, 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 leave their 10/10 lifelink back. Yeah, I don't think I can attack this turn. Taking another servo. Oh, tapping their Ancient Tomb. Fearless. Yeah, they can turn one of their servos into a construct. Or a Thopter. Yeah, construct is next. They can attack for 3 flying now. And put yourself to 2. Bold. Oh, didn't even attack with the flyers. Alright, opponent's chilling at 2 life. Hey, an uncounterable Artificer. That's pretty good. Alright, I'm going to go for the throat here. Karn, on the stack. Are you holding force? You are. Okay. No surprise there. Here is an Artificer. Shove it straight through my Chalice. Just good deck building. And do I start prodding with my constructs? They can just block sack. If I attack with 2 constructs, they can't easily block sack. That actually does cost them a creature. Yeah, I'm going to start gently poking here. I don't want them to get an unsolicited giant bash with their 11/11. I just want to start slowly removing their permanents from play. On this attack, they lose the servo outright, and they flip the Thopter into a construct, which is fine. Okay, cool. And they scooped it up. All right. A 4-1, only losing to mid-range Esper Doomsday, where I definitely made a small mistake. I don't know how much it mattered. I felt like we were pretty far behind, but yeah, I forgot to sequence my Chalice correctly in our 1 loss. And 4-1 to everybody else. Tanglewire Goblin Welder, hell of a thing. Continue to prove that Urza Saga can hold anything together. And I think that this sort of deck is an argument for Urza Saga. I don't know if there are many people left on the earth who think Urza Saga is a problem or a mistake. I think this card's a design masterpiece that enables all sorts of cool decks that didn't exist or weren't good enough before, spawns new archetypes, comes at real deck building cost. I freaking love this card. And I love this card too, Tanglewire. And I'm glad we could put them together and go completely nuts with Goblin Welders. We even got a Ruin Grinder win on the board. This bash for 7 Menace against Delver. Too easy. This deck was sweet. Ryan, you came up with a sweet one. I hope my changes moved it in the right direction. The Cavern technology came up multiple times. Putting Chalice and Goblin Welder in the same deck has always been a bit of an issue, but all of our creatures are Artificers. Easy money. I think the Karn Wishboard could use a little finagling. Maybe Ensnaring Bridge is just better than Meekstone, even if your hand can't get super empty. Like a lot of... If Meekstone is locking down the creature, then you would need 3 cards in hand anyway. You don't have to be all the way empty. And Murktide Regent, it's an 8/8 that's bigger than your hand is allowed to be. I think you probably just want Ensnaring Bridge over Meekstone. But other than that, this deck felt great. I'm going to leave that here. Nothing else to say. Near perfect record with a brew. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the Patreon and all the other stuff that supports the channel in the video description. I appreciate you. Ryan, thank you for sharing your deck. I appreciate you too. I'm out of here. See you next time.